Alexander Volkanovski is targeted by Movsar Evloev. Moser has had enough of being ignored, and in a recent interview with Mike Perry, he's going right for the king. Vog was forewarned by Evloev that his rule was coming to an end. The unbeaten Russian boldly asserted that he hits harder and has superior wrestling skills to Volk. Given that Evloev is known for his grappling-heavy style rather than his stand-up, that last part caused some people to take notice, but here's the real deal. According to Movsar, he has no intention of participating in that fight. He wants to beat Volkov at his own game because he is so sure of his striking. It's a bold statement, to be sure, but Volkov has every cause to feel himself at this moment. He has amassed enormous victories over elite competitors including Diego Lopez, Aljamain Sterling, and Arnold Allen. All of that presents a somewhat intriguing scenario for a possible Volkov battle. While Movsar pushes a suffocating pace, seldom makes mistakes, and now says he's adding power hitting to the mix, Alex thrives on tempo, pressure, and shutting down his opponent's weapons. It's a terrifying combination. How do you feel about this possible altercation? Comment below.
I'll just push him to the wall. So don't let him run from me. Yeah, don't let him move.
Yeah.
And then he have to do exchanging with me. So then he will tire, or I'll break him. Because I think I know that I have bigger power, better wrestling, and I can control this guy 5 rounds or finish on the ground. For last fight with the Aljo, I was focused almost for 100% for striking, because UFC only talking about I have no finish, I have just wrestling style. So I was trying to show them that I have good striking also. But on this fight, I cannot show it because my opponent just take me down. I can promise them that I'm not gonna take down anyone if they give me a title shot.
According to Michael Bisping, the UFC is planning a spectacular matchup between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis during International Fight Week. All indications suggest that this match will be the main event of the summer, and Bisping is fully committed to it. It looks like a fantastic collision of styles and momentum between Khamzat and DDP. The current middleweight champion, DDP, is defending his belt for the 3rd time following a tough, if not exciting, victory over Sean Strickland. The key here is that Khamzat hasn't fought since he destroyed former champion Robert Whittaker in the 1st round, a performance that made everyone aware of how dangerous he can be in the early going. Khamzat is undoubtedly the most explosive fighter in the opening round. He punches hard, closes distance quickly, and wrestles like a crazy man. Most fighters can't handle that level of intensity, but Dricus isn't most boxers. Despite not being ostentatious, Du Plessis is tough and awkward in a way that suits him, and he brings significant power into battle. He turns into a significant issue over the course of 5 rounds, particularly if he prevails early. DDP has all the resources to flip the tide if Khamzat starts to slow down. His tenacity and gas tank have previously broken opponents.
Speaking of International Fight Week, this is not based on any insider knowledge from the UFC. I've got a feeling that we're going to see Khamzat Chimaev taking on Dricus Du Plessis. Of course, Khamzat, unbelievable force of nature, the way that he took out Robert Whittaker. He's undefeated. He hasn't been too busy lately, but the way that he destroyed Robert Whittaker, you know, that stamp that he put on that fight, crushing his teeth out, of course, you know, give the man a title fight and give him Dricus Du Plessis on International Fight Week. That's a close fight. Dricus Du Plessis, I think, would be by far the toughest fight. That sounds stupid because, of course, he is the champion, you know, but Khamzat's blown through most people. All right, there was Usman on very short notice, and then there was also Gilbert Burns, and of course the title fight's 5 rounds, so I would favour Dricus Du Plessis in that matchup, but that's a perfect fight for International Fight Week.
It's a close battle. I believe that Dricus Du Plessis would be the most difficult battle. He is the champion, of sure, but Khamzat has blown through most people, so that sounds foolish. Okay, so there was Usman on notice, and then there was Gilbert Burns. The title fight, of course, is 5 rounds long, so I would choose Dricus DI to win, but that fight is ideal for International Fight Week. Speaking to Russian media in Abu Dhabi, Khamzat Chimaev recently revealed some very important information. Although Dana White has not officially confirmed it, Khamzat stated that he is already well into his preparations for his upcoming bout, which will be for the middleweight title against Dricus Du Plessis. Khamzat didn't hold back when he attacked DDP in his interview with Ushatika, calling him a negative version of himself and asserting that the South African champion is really easier to handle than past champions like Sean Strickland. He explained, that although Dricus is strong and has a wrestling foundation, Khamzat and his group has the better technique and counter-wrestling to not only defeat him, but hold him there. However, the actual bombshell Jon Jones is coming to train with Khamzat stated the following: "He is currently at his prime. He is a version of me, if you will. Please take him down for me when I return. Compared to other combatants, he is easier. Dricus is a more physical wrestler and Sean Strickland gets up well. We can take him down and hold him with our wrestling counter-wrestling technique. Jon Jones is coming here, and we'll train together." According to our conversation this week, finish the quote. Speaking on the JRE Fight Companion, Joe Rogan offered his thoughts on this much-awaited title matchup. Although Rogan lauded Khamzat's top-tier wrestling, describing it as among the greatest in the sport, he refrained from making a final selection. Rather, he posed the crucial query: is Dricus able to halt the takedown? Since Khamzat is all about that remarkable burst, timing isn't the only factor. Khamzat fires from ridiculous distances and still manages to capture legs as if it were nothing, Rogan observed. He also brought up a point that many have been making for some time. Khamzat may be more comfortable at 185 in the middleweight class. His gas tank isn't being drained by a violent weight cut. With improved cardio and more explosiveness now that he isn't exhausting himself to make welterweight, Rogan thinks this Kazakh might be even more dangerous. Dana White appears to be giving the go-ahead, as Khamzat is already in camp, soon to be, joined by none other than Jon Jones. There may be a major upheaval in the middleweight class. Although the excitement surrounding Khamzat versus Dricus is still growing, fans were unlucky when Du Plessis' injury apparently put an end to their intended title match at UFC 317. Veteran MMA journalist Kevin Ioli says the middleweight bout, which was supposed to be the main event of UFC's International Fight Week this June, appears to have been postponed. The highly anticipated match appears to have been postponed until later in the year. However, this has not yet been confirmed. Driz has continuously expressed confidence in his impending title defense against Khamzat, highlighting his conviction that strength and stamina will triumph over the Chechen's aggressive style. Du Plessis has declared that he is not afraid of Khamzat's wrestling and intends to fight him on the ground, a tactic he feels will highlight his weaknesses in subsequent bouts. Additionally, he has minimized the Chechen's reputation as an unstoppable force, arguing that defeating Khamzat will enhance his own legacy and that the idea that he is a boogeyman is exaggerated. DDP is excited to take on Khamzat because he sees it as a chance to establish his reputation and demonstrate his supremacy in the middleweight class. Since Dricus Du Plessis' injury forced him to miss his title fight against Khamzat, UFC 317 needs a new main event. What do you think would be the best fight to headline? In June, the UFC will host an International Fight Week featuring Makhachev and Topuria. Perhaps Jones Aspinall will share your opinions and forecasts with us.